Okay, and here I go again, still trying to get this thing right. Um, if anyone is watching this, go ahead and start putting some comments in. Trying to figure out how I can see them. I would appreciate that. In the meantime, this is kind of what the podcast is going to look like. It's not going to sound like this. I'll be much more animated. I swear to God. And let's get this out of the way right here. This is a cat. This is actually, let me get that logo out of the way. And there. So this is Jelly. Now I've had Kismet on a couple of times, but this is Jelly. And she's a sweetheart, but that's neither here nor there. Whoop, and there she goes. I guess she didn't want to be on camera tonight. So, eventually what's going to happen is I'll start asking for topics and I'll do a little more research here. And I think like right now, my webcam is right there at the top of the monitor. The problem with that is I can't look at the camera and look down at the monitor and see the stuff that's going on over here. So, I still got some bugs to work out on how I'm going to do this. And, I'll probably wear a hat because, nobody wants to see my bald head, and it's questionable whether anybody really wants to see my face at all. I don't know. Anyway, that's, I've got most of the specifics worked out on how the software works. I'm using this program called OBS, which is Open Broadcast System. It's, let's see here. It's just shows as being OBS, and it's really really great software for doing something like this. The only problem with it is, and it's something I still have not been able to figure out yet, is how I can monitor my audio live. I'm not so much worried about the video. I can deal with that, but I need to be able to hear the audio live. So as I go from a cut screen that might have some music in the background, or I go from one of the ads, that I can actually hear when the ad is about to end so that I can cut back over to live video. So I have looked and looked and looked everywhere. And the only thing that I think might work, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet, is to set up a separate browser that is looking specifically at the port that I am using to stream video through, and catch the audio feed from that through Audio Hijack Pro or Loopback or whatever program I have to use to be able to hear the video, because without hearing the video, the whole thing is a lot harder to do. One of the other things that I would like to do, and OBS software will let me do this, would be to be talking to someone on Skype at the same time and have, do a video chat on Skype at the same time that I'm that I'm streaming this video, and to have like a split screen where I'm on like this side of the screen and they're on this side of the screen, or vice versa. However that would work out. And again, it's not really hard to do. It's a question, number one, of bandwidth, because there's only so much bandwidth that you can use for things like this. And the other part is, again, being able to monitor all the audio that's going on at the same time. So, these are all things that I'm going to have to work out before I do this on a regular basis. But in the meantime, this is what it is, and I'm going to continue working on it. I've got the website set up, and I need to make some more graphics with stuff that shows the website. If you're interested, the website is M as in Mary, T as in Tom, T as in Tom, F as in Frank, G as in Guy, and O as in Oscar, MTTFGO.com, which of course means Back to the Future Go.com. That's where things like this will be posted. I'll probably link back to the My Mac podcast that I do with Gaz on a weekly basis. I would love to get Gaz on with something like this. I think this would be a slightly freer type of environment that the two of us could use, though we still have to kind of be careful. There's a lot of stuff in the My Mac podcast that Gaz and I record that we never release, because it would just royally hack so many people off. And frankly, nobody probably wants to hear my views on things like politics and stuff like that. I almost question why they want to hear my views on tech, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, going to do a quick switch right now to the ad. I'm not going to play the entire ad because, again, I'm just kind of working on getting all this going and working the way I want it to. But I still want to kind of go through the motions. So anyway, here's the ad that I've already got made up. I'll have more. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing this particular ad. I'll make some more for some of the other podcasts in the MyMac podcasting network. And if there's any stuff that, I don't know how much freedom I get with Facebook on this. If there's, I'm seeing some chat stuff. Hey guys. Oh, I need to move this entire screen. Oh, see, I've only got so much real estate. Damn it. Move this over here. And God, I didn't think you guys were actually listening. Amazing. I am stunned. Where'd it go? I just lost it. Where did the chat go? Oh, that's weird. It's not showing up in the other monitor. Anyway, let's see. Who have I got here? You also need a way to monitor the chat. Yes, thank you, Warren. That's very true. I really, really do. And Ed Eisen put in a link to the podcast, not to the podcast, but to the website that we're all still working on. Brian Monroe says, hi, Ed and Warren. Warren Sklar says, yo. Ed Eisen says, hi, and then puts a little apple in. Hi, guy from Ed. Yay, he sees this. Yeah, finally. That's sort of the point. Okay, right. Maybe Warren is volunteering to monitor it. The problem is not so much monitoring, it's being able to monitor on an almost live basis, because right now there's roughly anywhere from 5 to 15 second delay from the time that I'm speaking until the time that it comes up on your screen. So that was why, I can monitor what's going on live through wherever it is that I'm streaming this to. The problem is, since it's 15 seconds away or 15 seconds in the future or in the past, or I don't know, it's Back to the Future. It's kind of hard to figure out sometime, but it's not in sync with when I'm saying it, and it's not in sync with when I'm saying it right now. And that's a problem. So monitoring it from 15 seconds away is not optimal. It needs to be, I need to figure out a way to do it so that I can do it live, do it like right now. Oh, did you guys see the cat? Did you see Jelly? Wasn't she sweet? Did you guys, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm asking you a question, but you're not seeing it yet. So I'm looking over here in the chat, and of course you can't answer me yet because you haven't heard the question. But let's see what we got. Warren is Union. For chat as YouTube Live or other streaming services. Yeah, there is a delay, and there's not much you can do about that. Yes, and Brian, thank you. What? Oh, Warren, cats are not stupid. Well, okay, cats are stupid, but I love them anyway. I'm going to cut to the ad real quick, and then I'll be right back.
everybody, please stand by. And, well, we'll be right back.
And welcome everyone back to the mymac.com podcast.
All right, so
Okay, so if I can figure out the timing for some of the individual little movies that I make for ads or for opening logos, and I just added some music to the yellow background Mac to the Future one, and I'm kind of trying that out tonight, and it seems to be working okay. This program OBS is really, really great, and according to what they're saying, they're going to add live monitoring eventually. The problem is the Mac version of this software is like 2 point versions back from the Windows version, and it's the same problem with the Linux side of it. You don't get, the Mac people and Linux people don't get all the first benefits of this particular program. So we got to kind of wait in line. Let's see. Ad works. Yes. Hello, governor. Ed and Warren says, or Brian Moreau asks when Ed and Warren are going to be on the show. This is there's no reason why you guys can't be on the show. You've all got Skype. I've talked to Warren before over Skype. So sure. I have no problem having other people on the show. The other thing I would love to do would be to have like a live call-in session with this. The problem with that is the ability to have multiple lines that people could call and kind of, wait their turn before, as each call comes in is very, very pricey. And there's a fee per month for having the number. There's a fee per minute used for each one of the calls. So, unless I can get a sponsor or get a lot of donations and no, I'm not asking for donations, certainly not at this point, because there's really nothing there yet. This is just me trying out the software, and we're throwing these videos live on the Mac to the Future Facebook site, just to get kind of an idea of how all this is going to work. So no, I'm not asking for any donations. But everything does cost money, and some of the stuff that I would like to do, it's not that it's hard to do, it's just kind of pricey to do. So eventually, if I can figure out a way to do it relatively cheap, I would. Well, yeah, Google Hangouts, that's, I've looked at that before, but I haven't really played with it that much, and I don't know if that's kind of like a conference thing. Does anybody has anyone used Google Hangouts to do like a live video thing? Let's see. My client shows one frame, non-installing flow. Okay, Marcus, if you have Chrome, you can watch this via Chrome, and Chrome already, I believe, already has like a Flash player built into it. I'm basically monitoring this, my past self via a Chrome browser, while at the same time I've got Safari up and all kinds of other stuff. Eventually, what I'll do is I will have like show notes that I will post over on Mac to the Future before the way this has to work is you guys have to know that I'm going to do this ahead of time, so that it's not like, ooh, let me check every couple minutes or every couple hours to see if Guy has done anything, because, that's bullshit. Nobody is going to want to wait for hours to see if I'm going to show up. So it would have to be like on a regular schedule, like a Wednesday at 8 or a Thursday at 7 or however that might work out. Let's see what it says here. I've used Google Hangouts. It auto switches the video to the person that is talking. Yeah, I have seen that. and that's great for having like 2, 3, 4 people in. I don't know what the bandwidth requirements are for something like that. But with something like this, you really don't want more than 2 people at the same time, because otherwise it gets kind of unwieldy. And when you throw in the fact that all of these VoIP services add a slight delay, and depending on how much bandwidth you have, that delay can be as long as a second. And I have done shows where there has been a big delay. And when that happens, it just becomes chaos, because you have no idea if you're interrupting someone, because they'll start talking at the same time that you're talking, but you don't know it until a second later, and then you both stop at the same time. It's a nightmare. I've actually stopped some podcasts and restarted the computer just to kind of clear out all the crap, just to get rid of some of the delay. So, yeah, I'm not that worried, Brian, about audio quality or even really video quality, because I mean, this is all amateur hour. I'm more concerned with just being able to monitor the things that I'm doing live, but that's a really hard part. Let's see, we would have to need it on a schedule for sure. Yes, Warren, you're right. True. Ty knows, Warren says, like I said, it could be a show with 1 or 2 hosts with a question and answer at the end. That's not a bad idea. You would have to set up a way. I mean, people could kind of come up with the questions that they wanted to ask during the show, and then one of the hosts, of the 2 hosts, would have to be copying, pasting into some kind of cloud document, whether it's Pages or what is the Google one? I can't think of what the Google one is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Some kind of shared document that both people could be looking at. As a matter of fact, I haven't tried it, but there's other ways to also have like a shared document so that a lot of people could see it. So maybe even have it so that you guys could be typing in your own questions that you want to ask us in real time, because that would actually be closer to real time than, this particular video, for example. I have done collaborative editing on not Word documents, but text documents. And it's depending on how each person's system is set up, it works pretty well. Pages works really, really well. That's what Gaz and I have been using for probably the last 2 or 3 years, and we haven't had any problems with it at all. And there was this thing called Pirate Pad. We tried Pirate Pad. We tried Google Docs. We tried, we tried all different kinds of things. And we always ended up coming back to Pages because that was kind of the easiest one to deal with. And we both had it. I'm going to look back over here at the comments. Should I install MacKeeper? Yes, install MacKeeper. Everyone should have MacKeeper on their system. And actually install it multiple times. Go to people's houses that you don't even know. Even if they have a Windows computer, install it on their computer too. Thank you. Let's see. That was from Ed. Brian says Google Docs. Yes, loves Google Docs. Never install Mac. No, Jason, you're wrong. Always install MacKeeper. Pages is legit. Thank you. Yes, it is, Jason. How long have I been going here? I can't even tell. Let's see, about 20 minutes. God, can you believe I've been talking like this for 20 minutes? And to be honest, I'm not really super comfortable with doing podcasts by myself. I think I work much better when I have someone to bounce stuff off of. I think I'm a lot funnier that way and a lot more spontaneous. That's not always necessarily a good thing, because sometimes my mind, I don't know if you guys listen to the My Mac podcast, but sometimes my mind goes in very odd directions. Anyway, wait a second. There is no benefit. Jason, we're kidding. We're kidding. Don't install MacKeeper. We could have a few moderators who answer chat questions along the way. Is there a way to? I know that there's like live forums and stuff that you can do, and kind of like live chats. I mean, this is a live chat, but to have people that can actually, you can't really monitor, a moderator other than the person who's actually controlling the live stream can't control the chat. They can't keep track of what's going on and let me know about it. You almost, for something like this, you almost need like a live producer who would be able to tell the host or hosts about stuff that's going on in the chat room and maybe even give out a telephone number, because I mean, I've got a Skype account, which is 703-436-9501. Please don't call it right now because I have no intention of answering it. But you could give that number out every once in a while to somebody that had a really, really good question that wanted to call in. I mean, there's all different ways that you can do it. I think it's just a matter of trying to keep it under control and not have it be too unwieldy. And that's the problem when you're trying to do something like this by yourself. There's so much that you have to keep track of. You're keeping track of the program or whatever software is being used to stream. You're keeping track of what's going on in Facebook. You're keeping track of, there's like all this other stuff going on. So yeah, I think it's going to need a little more work. If anyone has a suggestion on some of the things that I've talked about tonight, please let me know. Eventually we'll set it up so that you can either answer some of these questions. Well, you can go ahead and answer the questions now in the Mac to the Future Facebook page. But there's also, of course, the MTTFGO, and I'll get a splash screen or something that I can have come up when I talk about ways to contact us. But I do want to have, I think right now I'd have to go over to the page. I don't think I have it up. Let me take a quick look. La, la, la. See, I can do this. The future is now, man. So right now, the three people that I have in the Mac to the Future Go website as being part of this is myself, Ed Eisen, and Warren Sklar. And if you go to the Mac to the Future Go website, make sure you hit About Us and go, and you can see what each one of us look like. Warren's picture is eye-opening, so make sure you go on over and check that out. Getting back over here to this, I have a voice for chat. Warren says, I think you and another host per show and just chatting on a subject once a week should be cool. Yeah, that's usually the best way to do it. And the way that I kind of envision this would be kind of like what we do with the MyMac podcast, where we have like different segments where we do different things. So the first segment can just be, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Maybe one or two things about if there's something that's really interesting that was talked about over the last week on the website. Then in the second section, have a main topic that you want to discuss that week, and whether it's about Macs or iOS or Apple in general, or, some stupid thing that a competitor has done as compared to some stupid thing that Apple has done for the week. None of that, all of that is open for discussion. And in the third section, if there's a third section, keep it light and just kind of talk about, how to get a hold of us, where you can send your comments and suggestions. One of the other things that I'll be doing once I'm done with this, I'm going to upload this to the YouTube page, and I don't know how much space I have on the Mac to the Future Go page, but I'll see if I can. Well, I guess I can just embed it. I can just do a YouTube embed link over on the Mac to the Future Go page. I don't actually have to host it there. Anyway, unless someone has something else, I think I'm just going to go ahead and and end this. I'm really very, very pleased with how many people showed up in the chat tonight. Thank you guys very, very much. You just never know how these things are gonna, Warren. You just really don't know how these things are gonna kind of work sometimes. But if I can get four or five good people like I have tonight in the chat room, that will make me very, very happy. So what we'll do is, going into next week, I'll talk with Warren and Ed, and we'll come up with some kind of schedule for this so that you guys will know what time to come on by and see what's going on, if there's anything going on. But for now, it's still going to be, until I can work out some of these technical issues, it's still going to remain pretty light and pretty open. But I'd love to get your feedback, love to get your comments. And I think that's going to be it. So thank you all so very, very much for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. And we will see you soon.